So, a very good morning to all the friends who are watching my video at present. This is Sinasis Party. I am from the team of SNS. So, in this video, we'll be having a clear explanation regarding the sun tracking. Okay, what is sun tracking and how the project usually helps in doing the things better. Okay, how the project usually helps in different branches of electronic as well as electrical engineering too. So those things we'll be having a clear understanding as well as discussing. Okay, so before having a clear discussion or before having a clear study regarding the sun tracking solar panel project, we'll be having a very just explanation about how the project usually works on. What are the different equipments which usually helps in manipulating the project, in executing the project. So everything will be having a clear discussion in the video itself. So if you want to have a clear understanding about what the project is, how it usually works, then watch the video till the end and get the information regarding the sun tracking solar panel mission. So this is how the introduction usually starts from. So what are the different introduction usually comes under the solar tracking and the sun tracking solar panel. So we all know that solar panel is just a panel which usually gains energy through non-renewable resources. So from the geography part itself, we will be learning about what is a non-renewable energy and what is renewable energy. So it is not prior important to discuss about what renewable and non-renewable energy is all about, but still there is some sufficient sort of information which is even required okay for discussion, that renewable energy is just a energy which can be renewed, and while it comes for non-renewable energy, it is just like coal, petroleum, which cannot be renewed, or those sources of energy which usually gives energy which is with a limited source. That's the reason why we are facing coal shortage in India, and we are being totally dependent on Russia for export and import duties of different energical equipments. That's the reason what we have to discuss on. So let me without wasting time, let me move to the introduction part of the video. As is non-renewable or we can energy resource are decreasing, as renewable source for producing electricity is increasing, solar panel becomes the more popular day by day. Why? So as we know that solar panel is just a energy giving resource generation hub which usually forms energy through sun's heat. As we know that due to global warming, the sun's shines much more brighter, it usually gives much more heat. So that's the reason also I might be saying, I might be having a discussion that more the energy, more the heat, more the heat, more the transmission of light, more the energy. Okay, so that's the reason why we are even totally dependent on sun's energy, or we can say the renewable energy. So how it usually occurs? So we all know that in our rooftops, which you usually absorb sun's energy, which usually converts it in the form of electrical energy. That's the reason why we usually install solar panels, and which usually stores the batteries, which usually stores the energy in the form of battery and in the form of inverters too. So, what is the second most point? So, this energy can be utilized when required or can be directly alternative to the grid supply also. Based upon the consumption of energy from the solar panel, we will be supplying the amount of energy which is being consumed by the solar panel. Okay, so it is totally depend upon how much energy it is been consumed and how many gigahertz of power is being generated. That matters. Okay, so whether it is small power or big power, it usually matters from house to house. So then after the position of sun, okay, the position of sun, we can say the position of sun with respect to solar is not fixed due to rotation of earth. So it is becomes a matter of discussion that if if a sun is there and clouds are here and clouds are here, so sun rays are falling directly in this direction rather than in this direction. Okay, in this direction the sun's ray is not falling, but the panel is usually been installed in this direction only. So what about this direction which usually sun rays fall? So based upon direction, the solar panels would have to rotate such that it can consume lot of energy from the sun. So that things usually matters when we usually discuss about the tracking of sun. That tracking of sun usually matters here. Okay, so here how we can install that, how we can process the energy consumed by the energy consumed by the solar panel through sun's energy by tracking it, by extracting the energy. It usually matters. It usually matters when the energy, when the project has been successfully successfully been executed with different one thing we have to keep in mind, with different equipments which usually rotates the what rotates the panel, as well as at what direction it is situated, means at what direction the sun's heat has been falling much more than the direction in which it falling very less. Okay, so these things matters a lot. So this can be done only if the panel continuously pays between towards the direction of sun. So the solar panel should continuously rotate in the direction of sun. This article describes about the circuit that rotates the panel. Okay, so we can say that this usually project usually describes about how the panel gets rotated, how the panel starts rotated with the stipulated direction of the sun. Okay, with the stipulated direction of the sun, we can say that tracking of sun also usually matters a lot. Okay, so with this I can proceed to the next panel, or next pictorial description of how actually it works. Okay, here how the solar panel is, it is a fixed connector, or we can say the fixed diagram of how usually solar panel usually works on. So what are the different equipments which you usually need for setting up, for setuping of, we can even say. So this is a solar panel. Okay, falling of that we will be having a charge controller which usually controls the amount of energy which has been acquired, consumed by the solar panels, or you can say the silicon chips. So then after a DC input which has been installed, then after DC supply will be given to what, to the battery. Okay, here the battery, or you can say that that the black wire negative and neutral, and the red wire positive, or you can say that light. Okay, usually it has been installed here in this form. Okay, so then after it will be the energy which has been generated by the solar panel, it will be, so it will be stored in the battery, and the battery will be generating the inverter positive as well as negative charges, or the loads also, we can say that. So in this way the solar panel usually works. So but what is our main intention of study? So this solar panel should have to rotate with the direction of sun. Okay, this panel should have to rotate with the direction of sun. That's the reason why we will be having a clear principle, or can say that principle of sun tracking solar panel. So one thing we have to keep in mind, that the sun tracking solar panel consisting of, yes, consisting of two DLDRs, okay, registers, solar panel, servo motors, and 8 mega 328 microcontroller. Here we need a microcontroller which usually forms, which usually rotates, and based upon the sun's direction it usually absorbs the heat, or we can say that energy. So two light dependent resistors are arranged on the edges of solar panel. So if I discuss about this, two panels will be installed at the corners, we can say the edges. Okay, resistors, light dependent resistors. So the light dependent resistors are can produce low resistance when light falls on them. The servo motor connect to the panel, rotates the panel in the direction of sun. Okay, so based upon the light's energy it usually starts rotating. Okay, so panel arranged in such a way that the light on two DLRs is compared to the panel is rotated towards DLR which have light intensity, okay, which have very high intensity, low resistance compared to the other servo meters. Okay, these things usually plays a important role when we usually discuss about the registers placement as well as the servo meter placement. Okay, so what is this all about when we discuss about LDR? So LDR is just a light dependent resistors. Okay, so do not get confused about what is LDR. It is a resistor which I have already said, it is a light dependent resistor which usually controls its performance based upon the temperature, based upon the light falls on them, we can say that, as like light emitting diode, which usually emits the diode, and then after we usually have absorption of diodes. There are different diodes which usually consisting of, but diodes are totally different from what we are learning in this project. This project usually consisting of placing LDRs in the edges, or you can say that in the corners. So these things usually plays a important role in executing the project successfully. So that's the reason why the LDRs usually starts absorbing based upon the LDR's position. The solar panel starts rotating. Okay, so these things usually keeps in mind. So then after last number slide also I can say, so it is usually extracted from the electronic hub, you can say that. So let me have a clear understanding about placing of atmega. So atmega is this, just atmega. Once you place it in circuit board, you will be having clear understanding about the placement of the pins or configuration of the pins. Okay, then after placing the ground pin, placing after which number pin to connect and which number pin we should not have to connect, where the servometer should be placed, so everything will be done in down below the solar panel. Okay, so with this we will be having a clear execution of the project. Okay, so do not get confused about what the placement is. If anything required, I'll be discussing everything with you. So just like placement, place it, and you will be executing the project very successfully. So if anything required for execution of the project, like I can say that any help regarding that, because equipments is totally available in the market, everything you can watch, everything you can buy. So just be patient with the project and hope it will definitely executed as soon as you start implementing it at very beginning. Just I have given a clear understanding about what the project is and how it must and should be implemented. So till then, Vav, thank you for watching the video. Thanks a lot.